Welcome to the BBC's Digital African Diaspora. She's Nora.
And he's Mark.
And this is your interactive spot for topics, issues and featured guests all connected to Africa's diaspora.
The question of identity is never too far from the minds and lips of many Africans living outside the African continent.
Things such as filling in application forms or having to explain where you come from can be more complicated than they seem.
Research in the UK reveals that an increased amount of ethnic minorities identify themselves as British, more than white English people do.
So we asked several people of African descent based in the UK whether they identify with being more British or more African.
Do I feel more African or British?
I'm British by birth and by paper.
I feel that in Britain I am more Algerian. I think it's because I try to keep a sense of that cultural identity and I wear things like this.
Like I was born and bred here, but I feel my heritage is Nigerian.
I definitely feel more African.
In Algeria, I probably seem more British to others and I act it more because I get called things like l'Église.
My sense of family, tradition, identity and style.
I think that I can't really separate the two. I'm Algerian and I'm also British.
I feel more British, like when waiting patiently in a long queue.
I would rather eat eba and egusi than chips and beans.
We also speak to international DJ Edu to find out, does he feel more Kenyan or British?
I consider myself a mix of both. Or when Kenya is running in the marathon, I'm Kenyan. And when the UK or Britain is competing in something else, I see myself as British at that time. You know, whoever's winning, I take that side. But, you know, more on the serious side, I think I'm a blend of both cultures. So I take the best from both cultures and they've influenced who I am today. So I am a Ken Brit, or a Brit Ken, a mixture of Kenyan and British.
We get the views of top British Congolese and... Plus we get the views of top British... Come on, son. Plus we get the views of top British Congolese comedian and actor Eddie Caddy.
I am a British Congolese and I'm proud of both cultures. I'm proud of being British because Britain has been the melting pot over the years of all the different cultures around the world. But I feel a lot more Congolese just because the two people have brought me up with Congolese principles and Congolese culture. But I'm proud of both cultures.
Right, Nora, I'm going to have to put you on the spot now and ask whether you identify with being more British or more African.
Well, Mark, I was born and raised in a small English town outside southeast London. But at home, my mum is Moroccan and she taught me Arabic really hardcore. And my dad, he came from Mauritius and he taught me Creole. So it meant that when I'd go back to Morocco, I'd integrate very well with my family, friends by speaking Arabic. We'd go to Moroccan weddings, Moroccan parties, dance, sing a little la 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 la, which is very Moroccan. But when I go back to Mauritius, I'd learn how to cook fish vindai, go to the beach with my cousins, speak a bit of Creole, a bit of Kimanye, tout correct. And that's also very Mauritian. So I'm very Mauritian, very Moroccan, and still that girl from southeast England.
All right.
What about yourself?
Well, it's a tricky one for me too, because I was born and raised right next to Wembley, home of the beautiful game.
Woo!
So activities like Sunday League football, attending youth clubs after school, even tea time with the family, to an extent contributed towards my identity. However, I was sent back to Ghana as a teenager for being a bit of a rascal, but that experience really enabled me to connect with my roots by going to local markets, helping my aunties prepare traditional food like fufu, even speaking a little tree and pidgin English around town with my buddies Uzil. So I'm probably too African to be British, yet too British to be African.
So you'd mix your fufu with a bit of English tea?
Sounds like the best combo since fish and chips.
Delicious. What about yourselves, those outside the African continent? What do you identify yourselves as? Send us your thoughts via Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.
Hashtag BBCDAD.
You heard.
Do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.